What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about what you guys can do to be a Division One wide receiver. So I'm going to teach you some of the things that college coaches are looking for in Division One wide receivers and what they look for when they are recruiting a guy and how you can stand out on film. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you'd like to train with us this offseason, we are traveling out to 15 states across the U.S. for 2-day long QB and wide receiver training camps. So we are going to be coming out to San Francisco, Orlando, New Orleans, Charlotte, Dallas, the DMV, St. Louis, Honolulu, Boston, Cleveland, Austin, Seattle, Newark, Denver, and Los Angeles. So if you guys are local to one of those cities, would like to come out and get some work in with us for 2 days, fellas, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out. Let's get started. So first example here is a route that gets locked up. So if you guys want to play Division I college football, you have to be able to beat a disciplined DB and a DB who is talented, fast, and physical. So let's watch this example here. So this is Jameson Williams at Alabama. Now this is DBU, Florida, right? Some of the best DBs in the country go there, and these are the DBs that you are going to be lined up against every single snap when you are playing at the Division I college level. They're going to be fast, they're going to be patient, they're going to be disciplined. So the mistake that Williams makes off the line right here, this is a mistake that a lot of wide receivers make, is he comes off the ball and he tries to make this DB miss laterally, right? So when I have some space between me and this DB, they call this catch technique, right? Where there's about 2 to 3 yards, he wants us to try to just take off and run so he could get hands on me and squeeze me to the sideline, which is ultimately what he does. But this wide receiver, he comes off the ball, he gives a release, he gives a little bit of head and shoulder movement. You see how he's moving a lot with his upper half. A disciplined DB, which is a DB you're going to be going up against at the next level, is constantly going to be watching what? He's going to be watching your hips. This guy is going to be patient, and he is going to have great recovery speed. So if he does get beat, he will be able to recover. So as a wide receiver, the details in my route running is what matters the most. So when we come off the ball and we're not attacking this guy, we're not actually threatening him inside, threatening him outside, he is not going to move. So when we come off the ball and we just give him this little chatter on my feet and I try to take off and run, you see what this DB is going to do. He's going to get hands on us. He's going to squeeze us to the sideline. And you see, imagine if he had to run a fade. He would have no space to do so. Imagine if he had to run a comeback. He'd have no space to do so. So luckily, it's a stop route to where maybe we could get away with it. But still, this DB is right on his hip because we never got that separation off the line. We never threatened him off the line because we did not close space. Fellas, the details of your route running, if you want to play at the next level, matter, especially if you're not the fastest guy or the biggest guy, which is something that college coaches definitely also look for. So your route running better be clean if you don't have those physical attributes. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So now we're going to show a good example of this against a Division I DB. So this route right here, same kind of coverage, right? About 2 to 3 yards off. Now he is running this kind of stop route, but he takes an inside release, which is fine. It's the same concept, but let's pay attention to his release. Now he comes off the ball and he is closing space with the DB. He is threatening his cushion to force him to have to open up. We are not letting him stay patient on this. So when we come off the ball, what Williams did, and obviously Williams is a great receiver. He's drafted in the first round. Like, I'm not trying to knock that guy. It's just this is the caliber DB that you're going to be playing against if you're going to play college ball. And if we just go here and we just give him these moves laterally and try to force my release, all this DB will do is just open up and squeeze us. We have to get into his cushion. Fellas, think about it from a DB perspective. Every single snap, every single play, they're playing with their back, they're pretty much in a false start position, and they don't know what we're running. So if we can make it uncomfortable on them, it is so dang hard to play this position. So when we come off the ball and he does this like triple step release where he goes right, left, and then right. But while I'm doing that, it's not just a right, left, right in place. There's a gap. There's some space between the two of us. He is closing the distance. He's trying to step onto his toes because now those 3 steps that he takes actually threaten him to the outside. Him operating a yard away with a 2-yard gap, even if it does get him to jump, he can still recover. But in this case, when we are closing the distance, when we are bringing this line of scrimmage to the DB, he can't recover in time. I'm right there. I could go hip to hip with him when I am running my route. If we're running a fade, I feel like we got him. If we are running a post, I feel like we got him. If we're running a stop route, I feel like we have him because we threatened him. We didn't give him the angle of recovery by leaving too much space. So fellas, if you learn one thing, if you were trying to get better and you were trying to stand out to guys on film, create more separation with your routes, because route running is becoming more and more important in college football or college recruiting or college coaches' eyes, I guess I should say. You have to know how to close space off the line and make DBs uncomfortable because the the DBs you're going to be going against at the next level will be just as fast as you, just as strong, and they will be disciplined. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Johnson getting into his cushion and then being able to snap off to create space solely because he closed the distance. All right, so now this next example, we're going to be talking about two clips here from a former five-star recruit playing at Texas A&M now, Evan Stewart. So Evan Stewart, obviously very explosive dude, plays in a high football market in Texas, or he played in a high football market in Texas. But one thing I want to talk about is just his ability to get in and out of his breaks with explosion. There's a clip out there, I wish I could tell you guys where it was, but it was a clip of Nick Saban talking about what they look for in wide receivers at Alabama. Now, Nick Saban's a defensive guy, right? But obviously, nobody's going to get recruited to Alabama without him knowing. And what they look for in their guys, and that's wide receiver U. You know how many wide receivers will come out of there? Jerry Jeudy, Julio Jones, Mari Cooper, some of the best route runners in the NFL have come out of that school. Why is that? And he says that they look for explosiveness and smoothness in and out of breaks. So what does that exactly mean? So let's look at Evan Stewart run this route. This is at a camp here, but this is a great example of what you would be looking for from a college wide receiver coach perspective. So he's running up full speed, no stride change, and able to drop in and out of this break. So this is the name of the game when playing the wide receiver position, and that is what they mean when they say they're looking for smoothness in and out of breaks. In our terminology on this channel, what I teach, I call it selling vertical and being able to drop on a dime. All three phases of the route. So when I'm running a route, like we were talking about before, it is so difficult for a DB to play DB because he's guessing 24/7. He does not know what we're doing. He's trying to react off of us. So when I come off the ball and I don't give him something called an indicator, I can get a lot of separation. So you see all the way up into this cone, Stewart has got the same stride. He's running with the same speed. His pad level stays the same. He's got that nice forward lean. Everything about this leading up to the break point is perfect, because that does not let the DB know when a break is coming. So many younger wide receivers, what they'll do is they'll run up to this cone, they'll try to attack this cone at the break point, and right before they start chopping their steps, right before what they'll do is they'll start to slow down. And I don't blame, I get it. It makes it easier. That cut is easier when you're not running in full stride, not running in full speed. But that's an indicator to a DB, and that can get us locked up, especially DBs at the next level. This stuff is so important just because of the guy that you're going up against at the next level. You see it all the time. There are 5-star guys, 4-star guys that do not pan out at the next level in college because they're playing straight bums in high school. They were playing guys that were not good, DB competition that wasn't good, but they were just bigger and faster so they could get away with it. At the next level, you will not be able to get away with it. I don't care what level of college football you play at, you will not be able to get away with that. So when he's bursting up into this break, everything stays the same. You could take a picture of him here and a picture of him at the break, and it looks the exact same. That is what's necessary to run a good route. Now at the break point, what does he do? He's very violent. He's dropping his hips. He's generating explosion. That is what they're also looking for. They're looking for explosiveness and smoothness in and out of the break. That violent hip drop will explode you, but also puts you into a position where you're low enough to where you could actually drive out of the route. And when I drive out of the route and I accelerate, that helps you widen the distance from a DB who's maybe trying to guard you, and that is how you finish a play. So fellas, if we were looking to play at the next level of college football, maybe you lack speed, maybe you lack size, but you want to still stand out. You have to be able to do this. Your routes have to be explosive. They're looking for smoothness in and out of breaks, and that comes down to selling vertical and selling fade. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great example from Evan Stewart. Now we're going to talk about one more thing that maybe you guys don't have a ton of control over that college coaches will look for, but some things that college coaches, or some things that you may be able to control that a college coach will want. So when it comes to the highlight tape, this is something that so many guys don't know how to do correctly, but the highlight tape is what's going to get you recruited. So if you're a high school guy, and let's say maybe you're a freshman or a sophomore, right, and you don't have any varsity film, your goal should not be worrying about getting recruited. Your goal should be worrying about making varsity. How can I make varsity so I can put myself into the right positions, make big plays, and get together a highlight tape, if that is your goal. If your goal is to play college football, that's what you need to worry about. Now, maybe you're a guy who does play varsity film. You do have plays, but you're not sure how to stand out to a coach. What is he looking for on film? Plays like this is pretty much what he's looking for. Now, I want to tell you this right now. There are probably some different opinions on this because watch this play and then you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is Evan Stewart. He pretty much just runs by this guy, right? Just runs by him. There's no technique. There's no release. He is just faster than this guy. He is faster than this dude. He's just going to run past him. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. This will not work at the next level. Because you will get a DB who is just as fast as you. And if you try to just take off and run, he is going to stay patient, get hands right into your hip, and squeeze you all the way to that sideline. You would have to work a release. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes those 4-star, 5-star guys get in a little bit of trouble because they get comfortable doing this. But again, here's the thing. Evan Stewart is obviously not one of those guys because he's playing college football currently and he's starting. I believe he's starting. I'm not 100% sure. But I know he played. I know he played against Alabama. So it's like, fellas, this stuff is not going to fly. This is not stuff that you can get comfortable with if you're maybe not the most athletic dude in the world. But what this does showcase is his speed. Now, your speed is something that is super important to a college coach. Playing at the next level, you got to have speed. If you showcase anything on your highlight tape, you need to showcase speed. You need to showcase explosive, big plays. So, like, I would rather see, like, so many wide receivers get it wrong. They'll put, like, all their touchdowns first on their play, and then, like, maybe 4 minutes in, you don't want to have your highlight tape be longer than 4 minutes either. But, like, 3 minutes in, they'll be showing a route where they catch the ball on a slant, and they take it up 25 yards, break a tackle. But because it wasn't a touchdown, they put it later in their tape. That's not what you want to do, man. You want to show that first. You want to show that you can have that explosive big play. The best first play, like there's a receiver, I forget his name, but he's out of like the Bay Area in San Francisco. That dude's highlight tape is perfect because every single play is him taking a 5-yard hitch, a 3-step slant for 40, 50 yards plus, and he's a 5-star, and I think he's committed to Oregon. But like that's what those coaches want to see. They want to see explosive playmakers who have speed, can make people miss, and break tackles. That is what we want to try to showcase. So let's play this again full speed. This is not something that I would personally want to see on film. The only thing that this showcases is that he is very fast, and he is the fastest player on the field, which is what will certainly help you at the next level playing college ball.